What do you call that? You
A
call it
Maya death curse.
a Maya
What happens is that a wizard or a sorceress can project telepathic hypnosis. The girl was driving along. She was with another young lady. A couple of weeks after she was married, she suddenly screamed out, "A deer!" And she turned the wheel, hit a tree, and was killed. There was no deer. But the telepathic image of a deer was created so the girl would smash into that tree.
What is that metal right there, Ed?
This comes from Flight 401. That was the flight.
401 it went down in the Everglades?
Yes, in the Florida Everglades. And Don Repo, a navigator, soon started appearing on planes that had parts from that plane taken. I have many parts of that. But they had his voice on the
Flight recorder?
flight recorder. Stewardesses, pilots, talked to this man. Talked to his spirit in the plane. This is all a matter of official record. These parts were brought here by some college students who had picked them up in the Everglades. Soon after, we had a visit by Don Repo right out here in our driveway.
Really?
Two people had seen him standing out there, yes. He had on his uniform, a raincoat. It was a rainy day that day, and he had on his hat. Now, Don Repo, a lot of people don't realize, was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
And his wife lived across the street from me on Jane Street in a house that was haunted that I lived in.
Isn't that amazing?
And when I found out that it was Alice Norco, I was really shocked.
This ugly item, what is this?
All right, we have a little werewolf over here. This, again, is a Halloween-type item that you can purchase in almost any store. But again, people take something like this, and they'll try to create a double, a tulpa. And unfortunately, sometimes they manage to do that. In fact, 6 of them tried to create this model of this head that was in this coffin here that a vampire once slept in. And they didn't create the doll, but they did create a monstrosity that almost killed the 6 of them.
That coffin, you said a vampire really...
A young man who visualized himself as a vampire and actually did take blood from people had slept in that coffin some 30 years ago. Today, he too is also in a mental institution, and he still believes he's a vampire. He's what we call a human vampire. This model of the dinosaur that you see here looks harmless enough, but David Glotzel in Brookfield, Connecticut, a young boy who came under diabolical possession, had just finished making it. He put it on the floor of his home, and the thing started to walk toward the family, who was all sitting at the kitchen table, and a voice came from it that said, "Beware, you're all going to die." That was in a very famous case, the Devil in Connecticut.
Devil in Connecticut, I remember that one in Brookfield. That was about, what, 1982, Ed?
You also notice a lot of tombstones around here, Tony.
I was wondering about it, because one of them says, I guess...
The grave of Sarah A. Judson, and one has Warren. Satanists left that one on our
They left that on your door?
On our lawn,
Like
trying
a
to frighten us.
threat?
Yeah. But they steal these stones and they use them as altars, especially children's stones.
Is there anything up here on this shelf that you want to talk about? Or?
Oh, yes. You see a silver box up there, and there's a small statue of a cat in there.
Right there.
That is one of the most powerful black magic items that we have here.
What's that say?
It was used by a powerful black magic group over 50 years ago. And the story behind that I cannot speak about here because the people who were involved with it are still in hiding. But that was very bad.
That was a bad case?
Yes, very bad case.
And
this is a shadow doll. All right? The shadow doll is one that comes to you in your dreams in a nightmare and actually can cause a heart attack. A young couple bought it from an antique store, and they thought it was, you know, just an antique, but then we found out that there were animal parts and bird parts and even some human bones in there. What would happen is that a black magician would take a picture of the doll, send it to the couple or person that they wanted to perform some kind of black magic against. They'd see this, and it's what we call a diabolical curse that can come to these people in their dreams.
Okay.
It comes right into their dreams. There is such a thing as an evil board. This doll here is the same thing as an evil board. When the picture is sent to you, you take the curse on that goes with it, even though you're innocent.
Okay. I noticed also that you have...
Oh, that mask up there, that's the one that's hanging up there?
Right.
It says, danger, please do not touch him.
Yes.
There's a mask right next to
Right,
it. That
right.
came from Transylvania. That is supposedly a face of a vampire.
Wow.
That is actually from Transylvania.
You know, I know also that when you bring visitors into this museum, such as us and the camera crew and others, many others have come in, you always say to them, and I always wondered about this, do not touch anything in this room. If you do, let me know. Why do you
Yes.
say that? What's wrong?
Well, if anybody touches anything in this room, their aura mingles with the aura of that object, which is very evil. I would then tell them to close their eyes. I would vision them in what we call a Christ light, make the sign of the cross over them so they take nothing out of here. That's just a precaution that I always use.
All right, so if you touch something, what would you do?
Well, I would do the same thing.
You
But remember
yourself-
that I have to touch these things all the time. But I think that I have a natural protection as far as devils and demons are concerned.
One time I thought you mentioned to me about having a holy person come in here and
Oh, yeah. It's a yogi, actually.
what happened?
A yogi is a high spiritual person who has a great knowledge of magic, of many things positive too. He performs circular embolism around the worst things in here. You know about these electric fences that the dogs can't go past?
Right.
Well, that's very similar. The prayers do not allow evil to go past a certain area where the prayers have been said, and it confines it to just the doll or whatever item it might be.
Now, would you consider Halloween to be like one of the worst times to be in a place like this?
Well, yes, I would consider after 9 o'clock to be in this place would be very bad. A lot of people jokingly say to me, has anybody ever broken in here? And I say, no. Nobody's ever broken in, but they have broken out.
Oh, boy.
You're looking at a succubus down here.
Okay.
This is a painting of a succubus, or an incubus, excuse me. That attacks the male. Succubus, yeah. And attacks the male physically and sexually. This is what attacked Jack Smurl in West Piston, Pennsylvania.
The succubus.
Right.
If it were an incubus, it would attack the female.
Female, you got it.
Well, Ed, I really appreciate you letting us come in and taking a look around your museum. It's pretty scary. And I can tell you right now, it's raining outside, and it's coming upon 9 o'clock. And I don't know about you, but I know the camera guys are a little bit weary. I think it's time to leave, don't you?
And what about the experience we had earlier?
Well, we were starting to film, you mean. Just as Rob was coming to us to start the interview, every single light went out. Every single light went out without any kind of jolting, just died. And then, 2 minutes later, it came back.
That was a warning to get out of here.
So I think it's just about 9 o'clock at night. I think
And
it's
we
time
should
to leave.
leave. Right.
For Ed, Warren, Lorraine.